All seemed to be back to normal until the knock on the door. "Hey," the anonymous voice barked. "There's a call for you." The dorm rooms, you see, had no phones. "Where's the phone?" I asked without opening the door. "Way down at the end of the hall." Oh, that was a long walk. But I needed Ruffles. And maybe they had restocked the machine. So I opened the door and headed down the long hallway to the one public payphone with the receiver dangling by its cord like a dead man swinging from the gallows. What I didn't know was that on the other end of that line was the rest of my life. "Hello?" I answered nervously, wondering who would even know where I was or how to reach me. "Hello, is this Michael Moore?" the voice on the line asked. "Yes." "Yes, I'm a producer here at the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite in New York. We got this story over the wire about what you did today, and we'd like to send a crew over to interview you for tonight's newscast." Huh? What was he talking about? "We're doing a story on your speech exposing the Elks Club and their racial policies. We want you to come on TV." Come on TV? There wasn't enough Clearasil in the world to get me to come on TV. No thank you. I have to get back to my room. Bye. Click. I hung up and ran back to my room, and I locked the door. But it didn't matter. This became my first ever media lesson. I don't get to decide what goes on in the nightly news. And that night, it was on the news. "And today in Lansing, Michigan, a 17-year-old boy gave a speech that took on the Elks Club and their segregationist practices, shedding light on the fact that it is still legal for private clubs in this country to discriminate on the basis of race." The next day, the dorm phone rang off the hook. And even as I was packing up to leave, I didn't answer any of the calls. But I heard from the other boys that there were reporters phoning from the Associated Press, 2 TV networks, the NAACP, a paper in New York, another one in Chicago. Unless it involved them offering me free food or an introduction to a girl that might like me, I did not want to be bothered. When I got home the next day, the phone continued to ring. Finally, a call came in from the offices of Senator Phil Hart, the U.S. Senator from Michigan. He wanted me to come down to Washington to testify in front of a congressional committee. They were introducing a bill to outlaw racial discrimination in private entities. Would I be willing to do that? No. I couldn't understand. Why are they bothering me? Hadn't I done enough? I didn't mean to raise such a ruckus. I thanked him, and I said I would discuss it with my parents, though I never told them. They would have wanted me to go. I went outside to mow the lawn. We lived on Main Street on a corner, and across the street from the bowling alley. Over the din of the mower's engine, I could hear a faint honk of a horn. "Hey, Mike!" shouted Jan Kittle from the car as she pulled up alongside the curb. With her was another girl from our class. I had known Jan since 5th grade in Catholic school. In the past year, she and I were partners on the debate team. I loved her. She didn't know this. She was smart and pretty and very funny. I waved. "Hey, come here. We heard what you did at Boy State," she said excitedly. "Man, that was something. You rocked it." I was ill-equipped to handle the range of feelings and body temperature I was experiencing. I had absolutely no clue to where to go with this other than to stutter out a "Thanks." They got out of the car, and she made me tell them the whole story. She interjected many right-ons and farm-outs. "Man, you and we're going to kick ass in debate this year," she offered. I glanced in relief at the EMS unit parked in front of the fire station across the street. "It'll be fun," she said. They drove off, and I finished the lawn. It then dawned on me that doing something political had brought me both a lot of grief and a girl who stopped by to see me. Maybe I was too harsh on the class officer types who populated Boy State. Maybe they would just all grow up to populate Congress with their slick, smarmy selves, or maybe they would go to do some good. The following year was not a good one for the Elks Clubs of America. Many states, this whole thing started just going out of control once they started doing these stories in the paper about it. Many states denied them their liquor licenses, the unkindest cut of all. Grants and funds became scarce. Various bills were debated in Congress to stop this from happening. And then the federal courts in D.C. dealt them the final death blow and took away their tax-exempt status. Facing total collapse and the scorn of the nation, the Elks Club voted to drop their Caucasians-only policy. Other private clubs followed suit. The ripple effect of this was that now racial discrimination everywhere in America, be it public or private, was prohibited. My speech was occasionally cited as a spark for this march forward in the racial fixing of the great American experiment. But there were other speeches far more eloquent than mine. Most important for me, I learned a valuable lesson, that change can occur, and it can occur anywhere with even the simplest of people and craziest of intentions. And that creating change didn't always require having to devote your every waking hour to it with mass meetings and organizations and protests and TV appearances with Walter Cronkite. Sometimes change can occur because all you wanted was a bag of potato chips. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.